Hi, Dave. Welcome back to my channel.
Thanks very much.
How is Australia?
Australia is great. It's full of crazy animals and lots of fun.
And you guys are in winter now. Is that correct? Or
No, we're going into spring.
spring?
Yeah,
Oh,
right. And
yeah.
it's really hot really early. So it could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing, just depending on how hot it gets.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're going into winter. We just had snow up on top of Pikes Peak, so we get to wear our hoodies.
Uh-huh.
That's the
Good.
that's
That
the
sounds
first
nice.
indication of the hoodies. All right. So, I know you're doing a lot on your channel. If anybody wants to go check out our channel, I did receive a few emails about your last video. It's
Yes.
a hot topic in our
Yes,
community right
yes.
now.
Yes, yes. So maybe I'll just say to people that I put a video up and I was told to put this video up. It was pretty worrisome. It was about Putin and Ukraine and potential chemical weapons. And I really was very, pretty upset when I put it up, but I was told that I should. And then a few hours later, I was told it's not really helping now, take it down. I don't know why I was told both of those things. It might be that that was just a message for somebody. But at the point where I took it down, it just, you and I were talking about this sort of ethical questions of being a reader. And there are a lot of ethical, trust me, all of us go through major ethical dilemmas doing this work. When should you let people know? When is it helpful? And when is it not helpful? But I did take it down because it, among other things, it didn't seem helpful. If the message is out, the message got out. I don't really know when these things are going to happen in Ukraine, so it could be a year. I might have just been tapping into the death and destruction that's already happening there, and it won't escalate. I'll let everybody know that I talked to a bunch of readers because I wanted to say, hey, am I right or wrong about this? And first person, of course, I talked to is Lena Rodriguez, who's like, Dave, take it down. It's not helping. So thank you, Lena, because you're absolutely right. I talked to, let's see, Jen Bushman, Kim, Linda G, Lena, of course, Kirsten, and Whimsy. And they all, for the most part, did not see what I saw going on in Ukraine. Some people saw something like that. You saw a little bit of what I saw too. So, it looks like I could be off. We could be off. I'm hoping that we're wrong. That's potential. Again, we might have just been looking at what's going on there right now. But keep in mind, all readers are wrong sometimes. I might have just gotten really emotional about what I was seeing. And the question is, what can we do for those people right now in Ukraine? How can we be helpful? Take a moment, pray for them, pray for the soldiers who didn't choose to be there on the Russian side. Pray for all of those people in Central Europe who are being affected, and see if when you do that, you can include the whole world. As prayers for others always work better. It's okay to pray for yourself, but when you pray for others, it always works. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about with this, and I don't think we're going to finish figuring this out today.
No, and when I came home and I looked at the question and stuff, what I got was a high emotion and poison, and that was the reason why I sent that picture to you. I'm like, I don't know, maybe what you see is kind of true, but then again, on my what I have been doing with some of my remote views and some of my cards, I have been tapping into the Hail Marys, the in
Yeah.
the chaos, what they can do, what they would do, right? And I thought
Mhm.
to myself, maybe that's what you were also, what I was tapping into, and maybe what you were seeing is
Yeah.
Putin is that crazy. He is that
Yeah.
madman who would
Mhm.
throw a Hail Mary, and maybe that would be his last ditch effort in order
Mhm.
to win. And we were also saying too that I'm pretty sure that the Ukraine people, they know who they're dealing with. It's not like a secret. We
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
we do need to uphold them. We do need to pray for all of the soldiers that are over there, the ones from Ukraine, from Russia, all the families and stuff like that, and this try to lift them up and out of all of that. And hopefully, hopefully Putin never pushes that button.
Yeah, well, let's hope he doesn't go there. And it's important that what I saw was not a nuclear device; it was chemical, and that people have said that he's already doing that. We just don't notice. One viewer sent me a message that she believes that's already happening. I have no way of knowing, and I just want to mention it, like all of those people, and I want to say thank you again to Jen and Kim and Linda and Lena and Kirsten and Whimsy for and you for getting back to me about that. There really is something very marvelous about the group of readers that we know, is very much of a camaraderie going forward. I think in terms of ethics, all of these people, all of the people we like and watch really are very concerned about ethics. That is a primary thing for all of us. So it's great to be part of such a group. Thanks so much for responding. I hope I am wrong. It might be that we were only just supposed to get this little glimpse, get that message out, and once that's done, that's all that is needed. So there may be a reason why people see or don't see these things when they do. We cannot control everything.
Yep, and as a reader myself, I can see a different aspect. It doesn't mean that what they're reading is not true. It's just I can see a different avenue. I can see a different path, and that's
Right.
all that it is. And yes, we do talk a little bit about the ethics part. Is we do have to make a decision. Is this going to be helpful? Or is this going to cause too much trouble? Is this whatever it is? How can we deliver the message softly, gently, and with love?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
another avenue that we can also
Mm.
examine as well. All right, so now that we've had that conversation,
Yeah.
do you want to go ahead and get ready? Because I do have a few questions here.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so our polls for presidency, our polls for the politics we have, POLLS polls. So we have, we got information that Donald Trump was manipulating a certain poll over here. And then all of a sudden there's another poll over here where Biden is winning. And they keep on saying that the reason why Trump is being charged is because he's, a front runner and for the
Right.
Republican Party, which is true, but I need you to look. What is really going on with the polls?
Uh-huh.
Because people,
Uh-huh.
do we believe them? Do we not believe them? What's going on?
With the polls. Yeah. Okay. So, Spirit, are these polls accurate? Okay. It's funny because I'm seeing President Biden and he's literally taking a poll, right? It looks like the rider deck. Sometimes they have this sort of sword-like, wood-like things in them, and that's what he's doing. And I'll tell you that his poll seems taller than the one that Trump holds. Trump is also in shadow. My feeling for this is we don't really know who's pulling the levers at the on the Republican side. We don't really know the truth of what's going on. Biden is in the light, and he seems to be telling the truth. We also know that who is offering this. The polls are manipulated for clicks. They are manipulated to make people watch. So the more dramatic they seem, the more, even a liberal news agency might put up a dire poll because they want people to be interested. They want people to stay engaged and vote. So what else can we know about this? I am getting it's almost like a lightning strike, and Biden cracks open. When I say this doesn't seem like a bad thing. It seems like something sudden will change, and that Biden will be seen very much in a new way. Because as he shows up, he's very much like a light entity, sort of a lighter person, a lighter being in a way. Okay, what are you doing, Biden? He's showing me something. It's very funny. Biden is showing me polls are almost like tarot cards. They give us an indication of what's true, but it is really our interpretation of those things that is the truth. I personally, I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I mean, we were told it was neck and neck before and Trump lost. Right. So I don't believe at this point, considering the way things are going, that by election time, people are really going to be supporting Trump as much. He just does worse and worse. He just seems to appeal more and more to a specific group of people. Now, this is kind of my opinion. I'm not reading that, but if you look around you, Trump didn't win last time.
No.
So there's no reason why he would win. He didn't ever win, actually. There's
Yeah.
no reason why he would win now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm not really concerned about him winning. I have this ethical thing going on with me. He doesn't deserve to be on our sacred poll, our sacred ballots of this country.
You're absolutely right. He is
That's correct.
convicted of sexual assault. A
Correct. He
person who's
doesn't,
convicted of sexual assault should not be allowed to run for president of the United States.
correct. He doesn't deserve it.
No, right.
I
There's a
agree.
lot of other reasons why, but
Yeah.
this is the nature of the power that we have to confront these days. And I'm not telling anybody not to vote. Please go out and vote.
Right.
We want to be sure that this is true. But I think people are more motivated than they were 10 years ago.
Absolutely. And we also have a whole bunch of Gen Zers that are, I mean, they're not having it. They're not going to vote Biden in for the Democrats or for they're going to vote to save their future.
Right. Yeah. So that they, yeah.
That's the
So
bottom
they don't
line.
get saddled with $200,000 worth of college debt,
Yep. So they're gonna get the things that they need for their future. And so, and I am so happy for that. Okay, so for on the next one, here's a juicy one. So GOP is going broke. Take, for instance, the state of Minnesota. Okay. $53. That's not a typo. $53 is left in their banking account.
Wow.
The GOP here in Colorado cannot pay rent. They had to close their doors. They are not getting the donations that they are with that either. And I hear there's a few other GOP like in Arizona and stuff like that like 50,000 or 90K. I mean, there's just nothing left in there. Now, there's two questions to this. One, can you see where the money's going? I mean, is it like obvious? Are they truly giving all of their money to Trump for his legal fees? Is this really true? Or are they not getting the donations because, the same people have left the party?
Let's
So,
take a look.
The first question is where is it? Where did it go? Like, where did it go? And then the second question, if it comes into play, is it because of the irresponsibility?
Okay, so first words I get are colossal mistake. But let's see what that means. I see Trump getting fatter and fatter and fatter. He's just sucking up all those donations. He's just sucking up all the Republican money. Look, the people who are really, really into conservative politics, who give money, they identify with Trump. He's sort of like their favorite quarterback. They don't care about the team. They care about the quarterback. They identify with him and have an emotional bond with him psychologically. So they're giving him the money. They don't have that bond with your regular Republican. Your regular old Republican is not sexy enough. And so he's doing the Democrats, Trump is doing the Democrats a huge service. He just gets fatter and fatter and fatter. And where does all that money go? It doesn't go to help. It goes to help one person win an election. And it seems unlikely that he will. Okay, I'm getting like a sort of typical like Republican couple. They very much look like the guy with the pitchfork in front of the house, American Gothic kind of type people. They seem very serious. And they're like the regular person, not the multi-jillionaire person. They don't, among other things, they don't have that much money. So the regular Republican can't give that much. And I'd like to open up the idea that the reason that Trump did well is because the Supreme Court opened up so that anyone could give money to a candidate. And so and as much as they wanted, and it could all be dark. So it seems that's what's gone on. This very, very, very rich people have tilted the scale for the Republicans. The average Republican doesn't have the money. And it's kind of like they don't trust either. They don't entirely trust Trump. They realize that he is problematic and they're not thinking that he's going to win. But they also don't trust the Republican Party either, which doesn't really seem to do anything that they want them to do. So they're stuck, and I see them taking the $5 that they have and just putting it back in their pocket. If the Republican sort of media is telling them all day long, hey, look, there's this crisis, there's this crisis, there's this crisis. Well, then they're going to hold on to the money. If there's a crisis, well, what are Republicans doing about it? Nothing. So I think there is a bit of reality that's hitting these people. And again, I just see Trump getting like so huge, the buttons on his, shirt are bursting as he gets just like, the Blueberry Girl on what's that show?
I know you're talking about the Candyman.
Blueberry Girl on you know what I mean?
I do, the candy guy.
Right. Willy Wonka.
There we go.
Yeah, it's like a Willy Wonka character. And yeah, let's hope he floats up just like her and somebody pops him.
I think he came up with a really good thing is they're realizing that their money is not going in the right spot. I think that they are starting to get a little leery, not weary, but leery about how much. And also, here's the thing that confuses me so much. They can buy $50, $60, $150 flags and then complain about gas being able to put gas in their tank, or go buy food. And then they start donating. I was like, which is it? You guys are doing really, really well so that you can go out and buy all these flags and hats and shirts and all of that. And are you still and then they're traveling around the United States following this guy like groupies. This is bizarre.
Right. Well, keep in mind, it's social, and just as we have our sort of social experience, we've created a new community online. They have also their own community, and it's worth it. It's worth, putting money on your credit card to be with people, because just one thing I think about modern internet is just people are desperate for a real connection.
Yeah.
Desperate to feel part of a group.
Yeah.
And we can't blame them for that. That's normal. It's just, when you are that desperate, what do? Do you do the right thing?
Correct. Yeah, they definitely. Well, here was another thing too, and maybe you can just give me a quick yes or no. How do you feel about it?
Okay.
Most of these people weren't even registered to vote. The people that were going to his rallies weren't even voters. They were just going for the social.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, but that's it. I mean, that's why.
I think I heard about that too. It's like, are you registered to vote? No, I've never voted in my life. I'm like, why can't you vote? Well, I have this felony.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's kept me from, but anyways. All right. So we only have a little bit left, and I definitely want a message at the end. Everybody absolutely loves your messages at the end. Your message.
Oh, did I? Okay.
So the next one is the House Republicans, okay? And this is connected to shutting down of the government and all that. So House Republicans are separating. You heard Matt Gates just trash McCarthy, right? Can't blame on the Democrats. You have to blame him. Well, all of a sudden the Freedom Caucus, or whatever is left of them, are not getting what they want from McCarthy anymore. McCarthy has literally gone to the end of his chain and barked. That's all he can do right now, because he's so strapped in. I don't know how can I put this question? The separation of the Republicans right now on the House House floor and the
Mhm.
chaos. Can you literally just paint us a scene of what's going on right now with them?
Well, I kind of had a shiver because I saw Matt Gates's face there for a moment, and that always just,
Blech.
he's so slimy. He just really just like, ugh. Just looking at him and his fake smile just irks me. But it's really is about him and a few people. And what I get is Matt Gates is just absolutely self-serving. He doesn't even care about his party. And one thing that happens is it's like a snake eating itself. For a while, they could stay united and go after Dems, but they've kind of run out of things to go after them for. So now they have to go out for someone, have to be mean to someone. And so that's just what Gates has done. Look, this is a person who has no ethics. They have no goals. There's nothing that they desire for the United States. They don't believe in the United States. These people, for the most part, don't believe in democracy, as we've seen. So he will go after, it's almost like the Republicans have nursed these vipers in their nests, and now these vipers have come out to attack them. It's kind of just desserts are sort of getting what they want. But I can see the sort of moderate Republicans being really, really upset and just being like, have you no decency? Whereas there's, the Gets like just smiling in this sort of creepy fashion, like, I don't really care. He's that person. He will always be that person. And, by tolerating this, by letting these, characters develop, and that includes the media that surrounds conservative politics, they have created these agents of total destruction. So when I see this, I actually see the January 6th people breaking in, and Gets a smiling from ear to ear, like, here's my people, string them up. And then there's the Republican body of people who are in shock. They're like, how could you do this to us? We're on your team. How could you do this to us? There's a lot of relief, frankly, among the Republicans that Biden won, because now they can go on the attack. They can say it's all his fault, but they're not so worried about the future of the country. They're not worried about him holding the nuclear codes. These people, for the most part, were very, very worried about what Trump would do, and they wanted the votes, so they didn't say anything. But this is the bargain they made with the devil, and now they're going to pay. And it seems like they will keep paying as long as there's a Matt Gaetz there to undermine them. The party will be divided.
I agree. And that was my next question, was that, can you please tell us what you see? What's between Matt Gaetz and McCarthy? What is really between them?
Well, McCarthy shows up as a Great Dane, okay? And Matt Gaetz is this little, barking, sort of small Chihuahua-like dog. And he's just like, so that's the relationship. Is the Great Dane just like, oh my God, this dog is so annoying me. I could kill him in one bite, but I can't because people are watching. It's like the Great Dane is well trained, is trained to live with restraint. But it's just, even I see it's just, do you know McCarthy gets like, at the same time he's a senator, he collects like hundreds of thousands of dollars from some organization that pays him 3 times his salary. How could we live in a democratic society where certain people, senators have 2 jobs? One of them is paid for, by a conservative group. So, it's just, they're also corrupted, but McCarthy is trying to present as if he is not corrupt. He's presenting as if he is some kind of moderate. But I also see him during January 6th. He just sat there and he did nothing. He did nothing to help the people that were under attack. He did nothing to help his fellow senators who were risking death. And he just sat there. So that's what he does behind closed doors. But in front of people, he wants to appear as restrained and sort of a noble animal, if you will. Gates just does not care. He will do anything to sort of be annoying, because people pay attention to him. He's just one of those people that wants people, that annoying kid in the class who pinches you and runs away. He just wants people to pay attention to him. Yeah, and it's really prickly. It's like two prickly things banging up against each other. Trust me, McCarthy hates him more than he ever hated any Democrat, because this guy is supposed to be loyal and following the program, and he's not.
You said Democrat.
Yeah. Did I? Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
you said any Republican, and you said Democrat, and I'm like,
okay,
that's
my bad.
How he thinks of him.
Yes. Yeah, they're very prickly with each other. This is like the best gift that could ever happen to the left.
I agree. So here's another question. Okay, so when it comes down to the government shutdown, or not necessarily the government shutdown, let's go forward. So Matt Gaetz came up with a piece of paper that was found in the bathroom. I don't know if it was purposely strategically left in there for a reporter to find out or to see it, but Matt Gaetz had already did up some papers to have McCarthy unseated, right? It's like for that. Okay, so you know that story. So here's the thing: would the Democrats save McCarthy if Matt Gaetz gets what he wants, like to unseat him? Like, what is it called that they had him?
That vote, confidence sort of vote.
Yeah.
So will the Dems save
Democrats
save McCarthy? Good question. So I'm seeing some Democrats and they're kind of smiling, like a wry smile, like, hey, we're just enjoying the show here. But okay. And then McCarthy comes begging, please help me. And the Democrats are looking at him like, why should we help you? What have you ever done for us? And he's like pleading, please. And they're like, no, you're not pleading good enough. So he's really begging them. And they're like, well, we'll think about it. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we'll support you, but we're going to come up with some demands. And the demands are going to be really heavy demands, like no more impeachment, none of this. Those are our demands, and you're not going to like them. And the demands are going to be bad enough, big enough, hard enough for him to do that he maybe he'll be politically ruined either way. He's either going to look like the guy that sides with the Democrats or this guy who is manipulated by crazy people. So Matt Gaetz is doing everybody on the left a big, huge favor. But let's see whether he'll take the deal. So this is funny because there's a piano, but half of the keys are missing. So that's what they're going to offer. You're going to have half of your powers. He doesn't know what to do. It's a terrible crisis for him. Gaetz isn't budging. So is he going to take it? Is McCarthy going to take the deal with Dems? It's a difficult choice, and I'm not 100% certain of this, but I'm getting him shaking his head. No, he's not going to do it because it will be political suicide for McCarthy. There's a possibility that he could rise again. But if he sides with the Dems on this one, he'll sink. He would rather be replaced. for his own political future. Yeah, again, he's shaking at no. But everything about this is good for the Dems. Let's check one more thing. So is there, I'm just wondering what the Republicans will do when faced this. Yeah, again, the centrist Republicans are really mad that this is happening. It's completely unnecessary, not helpful, but it's total chaos for Republicans. They have no idea what to stand up for right now. They can't stand up for America because they haven't. The whole woke thing didn't really work out well for DeSantis ultimately. These sort of ethical issues, they're not working except in very conservative places. And when I say ethical, I mean like school books allowed in libraries. That repression isn't working out in big numbers. So let's take a look at McCarthy one more time. Yeah, he goes crying. He leaves crying from the room. I don't think he'll like what the Dems ask him to do.
Yeah, I kind of thought of that too. It's like, okay, well, if you want us to help, you got to give us something. And then I
Mm-hmm.
thought to myself, do I really appreciate the fact that the Dems are going to manipulate him just as much as the Republicans have been doing? I thought that was a little unethical for them. I'm like, I'm not sure I
Right.
would like that. So they probably will throw it out to the public and see how they feel about it. But ultimately, I think that they'll just stand behind Hakeem and just say, hey, we're only voting for one person. That would be Hakeem. And other than that, y'all figure it out. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I would give anything to be there just to watch them just flip flop fail. And if the Democrats play their game right, they're just going to be silent and not let Matt Gaetz think or feel or know if they're going to save them or not. Like every vote's going to be scary for him. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And they're just going to offer him a deal that he won't take. Something impossible. It's
Yeah.
not in their interests.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, because Kevin McCarthy, and I will say this, I have felt the affair between McCarthy and MTG the whole time. I have literally I don't know, I have this special talent that if I meet somebody, I know if they are cheaters, and then I mean, not necessarily the people I date, but anyways. Some reason
Uh-huh.
there's a block there. But anyways,
Uh-huh.
like if I meet a couple or something like that, I can always feel if there's cheating going on or something like that.
Really?
And I
Mm.
felt it almost immediately around Marjorie Taylor Greene and Kevin McCarthy.
Wow.
So yeah, and so he has to stay loyal to her because he doesn't want that to be brought out. And I guarantee you, Marjorie Taylor Greene will take down anybody for power. She
She's
don't
a
care.
drowning. She's
Yeah,
a drowning woman. Yeah,
yeah,
she'll take down anyone. Yeah.
anyone for power.
Right.
So he has to. He's done that deed, and then Matt Gaetz. I thought maybe Matt Gaetz was a little jealous because I'm pretty sure their little career of going all the way around the country, they probably had some things going on there too. You know what I
Right.
mean? I was just thinking
Yeah.
that was just like a big old huge high school affair
Wow.
situation. But
Competing grifters.
yeah.
Wow.
So, anyways, the last one here, I also read a little bit on this as well, and I was kind of wanting to get your take on it. Is Ron DeSantis? So, Ron DeSantis is not this highfalutin king anymore in Florida. They're
Mhm.
getting painfully experience of how much he doesn't govern. And
Yeah.
so I wanted you to kind of look and see what you saw with the supporters. There's two things going on in Florida. Number one, we have the schnazzies walking all over the dang place in front of, Disney and on the roads and on the bypasses, the schnazzies are flying and stuff like that. And we have Ron DeSantis, who is just neglecting everybody at this point
Yeah.
because he's doing what he's doing. And, Florida's suffering pretty dang bad right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you could read what this, you'll read on the the Trump, not the MAGA, not the MAGAs. The MAGAs are not going anywhere. But like DeSantis supporters in that state, and see what you feel. I mean, who knows? Maybe they are going to just stick with them, but
Well, I'll tell you, a while ago, I saw DeSantis as a castaway. Totally like ripped clothing on an island of his own. Just in advance, that's where I saw him. Let's see what I see now. Again, he kind of appears like here he is in his house, but somehow the house becomes like an island. And oh, this is another thing. It's like in a jungle, but the jungle is sort of overtaking his house. Understand that anybody who lives in Florida is basically fighting back a jungle the whole time that they're living there. In some ways, they can pave it over, but there's tons of sinkholes in Florida for that reason, because they're they're not living in a necessarily very organic fashion. So let's see about these supporters. They're going to get really mad because they're showing me a bunch of bills and they're like, look at these bills, we can't pay them. One thing people should know about Florida is if there's a hurricane and you have a house in Florida and there is some kind of mold, you are responsible to take care of it. If you don't take care of the mold, then you will get nothing for your house from the insurance company. Well, right now, there aren't enough people to take care of the mold. So that there is a hurricane, all those people that are, illegal aliens that they chased out and all the other people that they've chased out, they could basically come back and say, okay, give me $200,000. I'll do the mold thing. And so these people are really going to be in trouble, not to mention they may not get insurance at all. This is going to haunt DeSantis, and it's going to really make a 180 from those people. Again, I keep seeing people holding bills and they're outraged. There's like all of the people who you would think would be Trump supporters, and they're just holding these bills in their hands and they're outraged. So while he was focusing on the, political memes for Fox News, he wasn't doing anything to take care of the real long-term issues that Florida has to deal with. Cracking infrastructure, they're not prepared for the next hurricane. There's not enough insurance. And everything about the Republicans, ethos says that's their problem. It's not up to the government to come rescue them. According to Republicans, you made your choice to live in Florida, and if you can't get insurance, well, that's your problem. Go live someplace else. That these people have all followed this sort of dream, but now they live there. They can't really get out. They bought their homes. People don't want their homes. So where are they going to go? Only hang on and, again, blame the government, in this case, DeSantis, who should be responsible for it. Let's see if there's anything else here. So DeSantis is going to try to do something really dramatic. I actually see it's almost like a can of spinach and like Popeye. He's going to open it up and drink it and hope that he gets strength again. But it doesn't work out. It looks silly. And he winds up really making a spectacular fool out of himself. Yeah, I'd say DeSantis' days are numbered. And when I say that, I actually get 365 days. I think in a year from now, we will see an absolutely ruined DeSantis, or DeSantis on the precipice of being ruined. He is not doing himself any favors. And, keep in mind, there's lots of people in Florida who are teachers and they're just fed up. They're leaving. They can't live in that state anymore. Really good, talented people are leaving Florida and they're never going to come back. And Florida has the potential to become a real backwater.
I agree. I think Florida might be one of those states that people are like, no way would I move to Florida.
It's risky.
Oh, I know. I too also got a lot of people are like leaving secretly. Like we got to get out of here and we got to go.
Me too.
Yeah. So, All right. So here is the time. We have like about 10 minutes left. So
Final thoughts?
yeah, final thoughts and also a message from you know who.
Spirit?
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
see. What do I see? So I often see pyramids, and this pyramid is sort of like a safe place. So I'm just going to ask everybody right now, put a pyramid above your head. And when you put that pyramid above your head, make sure that it fits you. And before you put it over you, on top of you, if you will, before you put yourself inside of that pyramid, just put in anything that looks like love into the pyramid. Just think of love. Think of people who do things about love, something lovely you did for another, or something someone did for you. And just put that in that pyramid. And now I'm going to have you ask the question, what color is my pyramid? Did it change color when I put love in there? All right, now just take that pyramid and put it around you. Just lower it so you're fitting in the pyramid. All right, this is a safe place that you can go to. Anytime you're stressed out and upset, just sit here in your love pyramid and understand that all the things that happen to you are not your fault. They're just things that happen. We all have to go through them and learn. And that is just that. You didn't earn this terrible karma. It's not about that at all. Remember that you came here to experience the planet. And no matter where you are and what you're doing what you need to do to experience that planet. Right? Don't worry too much. That is, we can observe these events and we can make decisions on these events. But it's not something that should consume our whole lives. We're still friends, parents, and cousins, and all that stuff. And just notice if you feel better here. And notice if this pyramid is showing up for you at certain times. Move forward and notice that. And if they show up, don't hesitate to do this again and drop that pyramid around you. While we are in this pyramid, I would ask all of you to give a moment's prayer for those people in Ukraine. Whether you agree with their political policies or not, these are human beings going through a very difficult time. And then expand your prayers to include those people in Russia who can make a difference, who are also subject to a government they did not elect, who are both good and bad people at the same time, just like everyone else. Expand that love to include everyone on this planet who you agree with and who you don't agree with. And notice that they make mistakes, we make mistakes. It's just a question of moving forward. We don't have to agree with the things that others do or support it, but we can shed love to all of them because maybe they are just deluded, and we have also lived in delusion. And notice here that this pyramid is always there, and it always will be. Everything works out in the end. All right.
Thank you. I'm back.
Thank
I'm
you.
back. I kind of put you at the front.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for that.
You're like, where's Sheila go?
Seriously, Sheila, come back.
Oh, thank you for the message and thank you for your insight. I really, really do appreciate this.
Yes, and I
Um,
appreciate you, Sheila. Thanks for writing me back in my moment of crisis and helping me decide what I should do about the madness crazy video.
yes, absolutely. I'll always be there for you, Dave. And one day I'm going to get to Australia. So
I'm counting the days, my friend.
me
Oh,
too.
and it looks like I haven't got the lease yet. It looks like I'm moving to the beach, so you'll really enjoy it.
You're moving to the beach? Wait, what?
Yes.
We didn't hear it. I didn't hear that. You guys are like moving from this place to somewhere else?
Well, maybe I'm gonna knock on wood right now because I put in an application for this place and I haven't get it. So Great Spirit, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you visit me, I will be one house from the water.
Oh my
By the way, that'll be
gosh.
great. Yeah.
That would be perfect because David, like, I gotta go do this and that and that. I'm like, I'll be at the beach.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
You go do
Exactly.
you. I'll be there.
So come on over.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm still planning it. I still look at tickets and everything. I really like first class, so I'm trying to make sure that I get the best. I know.
Wow.
I I'm I'm one of those. Sorry. I need to sleep on the plane for 12 hours or 13
I
hours.
I I did it once. I had enough air miles to bump up to first class. This was back in the good old days of Bill Clinton when we all had lots of air miles and money.
Yes.
It was heaven.
Yes, it's fantastic. I did it for Sicily. I did it going there and back when I had a
Wow.
9 hour flight going into Germany, and then I think it was a 10 or 11 hour flight coming back. And I absolutely loved it. I felt like I was in my own little house, my own little cubicle. I laid my chair down, went to sleep. I got coffee. I got whatever I wanted anytime I wanted. It
Yeah,
was
I know. I know.
Yeah, it was heaven. I really, really, really enjoyed it. But
Okay.
anyhow, so I have to look for flights for that, and I'll get there. I promise you
I
that.
know you will.
So,
Looking forward.
all right. Do you have anything last moment of words for anybody?
Just love to all y'all. And
Yeah.
thanks for hanging in.
Yes. And also, if you need a reading, you can go to his channel, and he has a website where you can book a reading, and they're worth it. Let me tell you. Yeah, you
Thanks
got to
very
do
much.
that. So, all right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.